Let's talk about respect. I am going to spare you my rendition of the Aretha Franklin song. You're welcome for that. So, respect. This is a little excerpt from chapter 6 of the book, and the title is Show Her What Respect Is. And so I just want to break down a concept or two in this little video. First of all, I want to talk about what is respect? Like, what would your definition of respect be? I don't think we have a shared definition of respect. And respect is very damaging and it's dangerous. I mean, people literally kill each other over respect. More men than women, I think, from what I see, but it's really a masculine energy. And I believe that the more that somebody demands respect externally, the less respect they have internally. The more insecurity that we have internally, the more that we'll demand respect externally, because any form of disrespect then becomes a threat because we're not stable inside. And I think it's part of our programming as in our masculine communities that respect is like a currency, right? I mean, if you think about it, like, what if somebody just says something really demeaning to you? And I'm not including like physical disrespect and people doing anything that crosses like safety boundaries and stuff like that. But what's always fascinated me is like verbal respect, right? Somebody will say something and it'll trigger us. And that lack of respect is now something that we need to respond to. And then it'll turn into fights or, turn into severe conflict. And like I said, people will die over it. It's always been fascinating to me. Like, why do we need to be respected by just other people's words and thoughts? I mean, honestly, like, how does that affect us? That somebody would say something and then it elicits this activation inside of our body to the point that we need to do something about it, right? So my philosophy on respect is that respect is primarily an internal thing. And the more that we respect ourselves, the more that we will be emotionally stable, and the less that we will demand other people respect us, but the more that we will command respect. So the distinction between demanding respect, which sounds like you need to respect me because I'm older than you, because I'm bigger than you, because I'm stronger than you, because I'm smarter than you, because whatever, like you need to demand just because, versus I'm going to live my life in a way that commands your respect, that you want to respect me because of the way I'm living my life. And I'm not forcing it on you. And in that way, I'm actually probably going to get it more because I'm commanding it because of the way that I'm living my life in integrity or whatever, whatever standard or metric we look through. It's going to cause people to respect us. And I know we all know people who we respect because of who they are and how they live. And then we all know people who are demanding our respect, and we might behaviorally respect them, but internally not at all, right? I think that's the difference between commanding and demanding respect. So in the context of the father-daughter relationship, I think it's critical that we as fathers show our daughters the essence of what respect is and not just demand respect or try to define respect and then have them demand respect as well. Because as parents, we're setting we're models, right? We're setting the stage for what our children are usually going to do. And if our children see us respecting ourselves and living our lives a certain way, then it's more likely that they're going to follow suit. It's more likely that they're going to follow what they see rather than what they hear, right? I believe that children are always listening, or they're not listening to the lecture as much as they're watching the show. So whatever they see us do is going to have more of a behavioral impact on them than what they hear us say. And so respect is something that's more of an energy, in my opinion. And the more that we respect ourselves, the less approval we're going to need from other people, the less rejection is going to affect us, because we have this internal respect. And then I think it's really important that we teach our daughters. Again, this book is written from a father-daughter context. It's available now, by the way. I don't know if I said that already in this video. Wherever this video is, you'll be able to see a link, or you can go to coachseansmith.com/daddy and pick it up. It's written for fathers with daughters primarily. It's in that context, but all the concepts apply to personal development and human behavior in all walks of life. But as fathers of daughters, I think it's really important that we model what self-respect is. Because when we as people don't have self-respect, we're just going to be more susceptible. We're going to be more susceptible to people manipulation. We're going to be more susceptible to fall for extreme charisma, let's say, which quite often comes as the other side of the abuse coin, right? Abuse and charisma go hand in hand usually. And we're just not going to be able to discern as much if we have low self-respect, because that's tied to low self-esteem. And so I think it's really critical that we model the essence of and give our daughters the feeling of respect, not the forcing of respect. And they're watching us more than we think they are. And that's an internal thing, right? We need to look in the mirror and say, am I overcompensating for my lack of internal respect? Am I demanding other people fill my cup up because my cup is low? And that's usually what it looks like. My philosophy is, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, if I respect myself at a 2, then I'm going to try to get that deficit of 8 from somebody else. I'm going to get other people to try to fill that cup so that I can feel respected. But if I'm a 10 out of 10, whatever, say whatever you want about me, right? And it's probably not going to have much of an effect because my cup is already full. So this is an invitation for us to look internally, to look in the mirror and say, how much do I respect myself? And can I teach respect through modeling rather than lecturing? And I think that will go such a long way in what our daughters will learn from us, but then how they will leave their mark on the world and how they will walk around the world and how they will live their lives. And I also believe, from a relationship standpoint, whether we're talking about romantic relationships or business relationships or friendships, I think respect attracts respect. And I think lack of respect attracts lack of respect. So the more that we can imbue and impart and input the commanding of respect because of the way that we're living with integrity, the more that we're going to elevate every ounce of our daughters' lives, of ourselves, of our families, everything. So that's the dissection that I think is important when it comes to respect. And it's a phenomenal conversation to have. Ask your daughters what respect means and who they respect and why, and who they don't respect and why. And that sort of dissection and discussion of a topic like this will give everybody involved more of a handle on what it is that we're doing, what we want in relationships, partners, friendships, all of it. And it'll go a long, long way. So I'm going to end the discussion there. If you want to grab the book, you can go to coachseansmith.com/daddy. I've got recordings that I did getting ready to put the audiobook out on Audible or Kindle. Well, Kindle's an ebook version, but Audible or any other kind of auditory book platforms. And it's not fully polished up yet, but for anybody that gets the book and emails me a receipt, I'll send you the raw recordings of the audiobook. And it wasn't just me reading the book. It was me reading the book, but also facilitating conversations with other people that were listening to me read the book. So there's probably 3 or 4 extra hours of conversation specifically about the concepts and the applications of everything in the book. So I'm super proud of all of that. And I hope this has been helpful. Ask whatever questions you have, disagree with me, add whatever it is that you want to add to the conversation. And I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to keep doing these videos and break down concepts from the book and applications of it, you know, in our lives, but specifically in the father-daughter relationship and parenting in general. Take care. We'll see you in the next video. If you like this video, check out the next video in this series where I continue to share various chapters and break down some of the most important concepts from my new book, Daddy, Are You Proud of Me? What Daughters Need to Hear, See, and Know from Their Dads to Have High Self-Esteem and Confidence. There are extreme examples where I would say, yeah, you got to set more boundaries around that one, or, you know, maybe this exact